All right, welcome back, everybody. Sorry about the technical glitches today. I think the notification actually went out. I didn't see any notification go out for the first stream, but some of you guys said it asked you to pay an extra dollar. I have no idea why it would do that. I did the same thing that I do every day. I just, put the link in the post and submit it to people on the sports tier. So super bizarre. Again, for new people here, I get the same questions every day, and I assume it's the people who've just signed up, but a lot of people just do not know how to read the sports notes. And again, it's really intuitive. It's not rocket science. It's looking at the narratives and picking out what narratives are the most lopsided, that have the best riddle. And it's like yesterday. There were a number of games where there was plenty of weight on one side, but maybe they didn't have as much value. Again, yesterday was another good day, but if you were just going to bet one game yesterday after looking through all this information, one game should have stood out above all, and it's this game right here, the Timberwolves at the Kings. Why should have this game stood out above all? Because the Timberwolves had a good narrative to win, and they had good value. They were an underdog on the road. You can't always take dogs with points. There's not as much of a payout. But the best, or I should say one of the best things that you can have in any game is where the date numerology and the gematria line up. Notice the Timberwolves were on 37 losses on the 37 date numerology against Sacramento, a city where 37 is probably the strongest number there. The next best number was Sacramento's 24. Kings is 24 in the most pure cipher. Sacramento's 37 in the most pure cipher. Put it together, 37 plus 24 adds up to 61. 61 is the 18th prime number. Another thing you had going in this game was the T-Wolves could get their 18th road win, matching up with Sacramento Kings, and the date numerology lined up with both coaches. It was also a 73 date numerology. T-Wolves coach could become 7-3 versus the Kings. Kings coach could fall to 7-3 at home versus the T-Wolves. And when things like that line up and it's in line with the date numerology, you got to go, what are the odds? That seems a little bit too perfect. I think that's the smart game of the day. So, game had a great narrative and great value. Blazers and Pelicans, pretty evenly weighted. But again, like I said, the Blazers have been... I'd rank them and the Lakers as the two most challenging teams this year. Because a lot of times when both teams have had good narratives, it hasn't gone their way. Pelicans, the 37 could have played either way, which is strong in Portland with the date numerology. So it made that one kind of tough. So definitely not the game of the day. 76ers and Nuggets. There was a lot of 19 that could have gone the 76ers way. But this second half of the season, 14 in NBA TV is hitting in the majority of games. And in years past, if there was a 14 on an NBA TV, it was like a rock. It was coming through. Or hold on. I'm getting dyslexic with this game. Yeah, okay, never mind. The 19 did play in that game. I've got dyslexic. The 19 did play. The 76ers stayed on 19 out of conference wins. Nuggets can get on 19th. Nuggets got their 19th out of conference win. So, yeah, the 19 date numerology. Again, that's the thing that's leading over all other things. In years past, that 14 might have played for the 76ers, but the date numerology did win it. And also, as we pointed out, the 76ers lost. They'd go into Dallas with 49 wins. Historically, that's a good number in Dallas. The Suns in the Jazz game, Phoenix was a 6.5-point favorite, and they won by 14. They did cover the spread in that game. What we'll have to look for the next game is, do the Jazz pick up that 41st loss in San Antonio? That's very possible. But yeah, the 35 has been good in Suns games this year. The Jazz stayed on 35 wins. The Suns coach stayed on 113 losses. Utah Jazz 113. But yeah, again, there's a little bit more weight there on the notes. And again, if you're reading the notes, realize this stuff at the top, the all-time record, like that's not weight on the one side. That's just how I write the notes. I write the all-time series record at the top regardless. And then so you got like one thing on what could go in the Jazz favor. You have several things that could go in the Suns' favor. And Suns prevailed in that game. So again, it's weighing the scales. And just realize this information at the top, that's not part of the weight. That's just the all-time series record. Sometimes it becomes part of the weight if there's something in that record that can fit. And then that's always made clear in the notes. But Knicks had a lot more, and that's the other thing to know if you're new. If things are bolded, it's because those are stronger numbers. They're more likely to play. They're in the more pure ciphers. They're in the more clear patterns that go along with the days. So in this game, you could look and say, well, there's roughly about the same amount of information on both sides, but there is more bold on the Knicks side. They did prevail. The Mavs had a similar thing going yesterday. They could pick up their 37th win on the 37 date numerology against a team that equals 37. The reason I didn't bold Pacers in 37 is because it's not in the most pure cipher, but if you're paying attention to, if you're newer here, it's hard to track this, but this year 37 has been playing really well with the Pacers. And sometimes I will start bolding things like in baseball. Like, again, here, for the new person, Cincinnati. I'm going to write out the word Cincinnati here just to make a point. The best ciphers are the ones on the left, so 96 and 51. But there was a season a few years back with the Cincinnati Reds where everything was just 66 that year. And then the next year, 66 didn't play that well with Cincinnati. But there was one year where it was just like the perfect number with the Cincinnati Reds. It kept happening. Pitchers kept becoming 6 and 6. Pitchers kept picking up their 66th all-time win, 66th loss. It was crazy. And, when that happens, I might end up bolding it during the season just because it does become the standout number. But, I would say in my mind, I'm close to starting to bold Pacers in 37 this year because it really has been good with the team all year. But still, you still have the Gematria and the date numerology. And, Mavs beat the Pacers soundly by 23 points. Bucks and Pistons, obviously a lot more weight on the favored Bucks side, and they did not cover the spread. They won by 9, so. But yeah, again, that's how you read the notes. Where is there more information? Where is there more narrative? That's the better side of the equation. If there's a lot of narrative on both sides, probably not the safest game of the day. If it's lopsided, usually those lopsided games are good. Sometimes they burn us. That's why you never bet the house. And again, just look for the smartest play of the day. To me, this was easily the smartest play of the day. Lots of bold and a lot more narrative. Notice you got these two things here for the favored Kings. You got all these things here for the T-Wolves and a whole lot of bold and a lot of value. This probably would have been the most misleading game of the day, the Bulls and Clippers. You did have plenty there on the LA side that could go in their favor, but again, this was the one that broke the rule where you could have had the date numerology and the city. The thing is, the 21s on Monday do play really well. Clippers did get their 21st home win. Again, Monday named after the moon and lunar 21. And remember, these rules are universal. You'll see it in the baseball season. So I'd rank this as the most misleading game of the day. Bulls go down with 112. Chicago Bulls, 112 in the most simple cipher. It's amazing how often the scores repeat themselves. And again, that's the thing. As you gain experience with the knowledge and you pay attention, that's why when you see a lot lines up and the coach can get the 112th win against the Bulls or the 49th win, you know to circle those games. So anyhow, that was yesterday. And as for today, date numerology is 74, 38, 20. That means the date numerology breakdown is 11 and 2. And it's the 28th, numbers that go with the 28. 107 is the 28th prime. 28 is the 7th triangular number. There's one team that can win their 7th straight game today. I think it's Memphis, if I'm not mistaken. The date can be written 28/3, a bit like 283, the 61st prime. And 87th day of the year, 162nd day of the season. That was something I forgot to write in the notes yesterday, and occasionally I'll forget to do things because there's a lot to keep track of. Yesterday was the 161st day of the season. Los Angeles is 161. The Clippers won on that day. Should have been in the notes. My bad. So again, when in doubt, go with the date numerology. Celtics are an 11.5 point favorite on the 11 date numerology. And the Wizards, the date numerology is on both sides on this game. Sometimes that happens. The Wizards could pick up their 20th home loss on the 20-date numerology. Wizards could get their second straight loss. Date numerology breaks down to 2. Celtics can stay on 23 losses on a Tuesday where 23's been playing. And the Wizards can stay on 33 wins before playing the Magic. If the Wizards do lose this game, good chance the Wizards beat the Magic in the next game because Orlando is 34, where Magic's 33, so they could get their 34th win over Orlando if they lose today. The underdog Wizards, who would have a lot of value in an upset, they can get their 20th conference win on the 20-date numerology. They can get their 74th home win in the series in the regular season on the 74-date numerology. The Celtics could hold off their if the Celtics lose, good chance that they would beat Milwaukee in the next game because Milwaukee's 53. And so there's two ways to think about it. You could play the Wizards with the points, hope they don't lose by more than 11 on the 11-date numerology. Or you could put together a dollar parlay with the Wizards, who have a ton of value, small risk, big payout type of thing. There are a few things that could go in their favor. I mean, it does look like there's more for the favored Celtics, but dollar parlay or to cover, probably the way to play them. The Cavs and the Hawks. So, 38-date numerology. If the Hawks, who are slight dogs at home, won, they'd be 38-38 on the 38-date numerology. That does stand out. The coach could get to 7-8. Should say versus Cleveland. Or no. It's with Hawks. That's what it is. It's with the Hawks. Let me write this out on both sides. Because he just started coaching the Hawks, Quinn Snyder. So he could get to 7-8. So there's a couple things that could go in the Hawks' favor. You look at the Cavs side. Cavs can stay on 20 road losses on the 20-date numerology. Cavs can stay on 28 losses. Hawks 28. That number has been playing with the Hawks this year. Cavs can get 32nd conference win. Atlanta Hawks 32 and 131 in the two ciphers that matter most. 131's the 32nd prime. They'd be 32-15 in the conference, meaning they'd stay on 15 losses versus Atlanta, the 15 city. Hawks could lose their second straight game on the 2-date numerology. Cavs could win their 5th straight game in Atlanta. Atlanta equals a 15, which is the 5th triangular number. Cavs coach could get the 120th win. Atlanta does equal 15 and 120. And that's part of why that number does play so well in Atlanta. Not always, but it plays in the vast majority of games. 120 is the 15th triangular number. So Atlanta really does have a double connection to 15. And again, the Cavs coach can get the 120th win while the team stays on 15 conference losses. Hawks coach could fall to 6-9 with the Hawks. Cleveland Cavaliers 69. And the Cavs coach could get his 7th win versus the Hawks on the 28th. 28's the 7th triangular number. Kind of like with the Hawks coach as well. He can also get his 7th win with the team. So, again, there's more narrative on the Cavs side for the W, but it is a little bit dangerous still because if Hawks win, they're going to hit the date numerology in the win and loss record. They're going to be 38-38. Like, if that wasn't there, I mean, Cavs would look like an awesome play. That makes it a little bit more challenging. Okay, the Heat and the Raptors. The Raptors are a 3.5-point favorite, so they have value tonight. The Raptors can also get to 38-38 on the 38-date numerology, and they play in Ontario, which equals 38. The Raptors can stay on 14 home losses. Miami Heat 43, the 14th prime. Heat can pick up the 36th loss. Toronto's 36 forwards and backwards. Heat can get the second straight loss on the 2-date numerology. The Raptors coach can improve to 11-7 versus the Heat. Toronto equals 117, plus he'd get his 11th win on the 11-date numerology. And if the Heat don't win, they'd stay on 40 wins. They do play the Knicks next, and Knicks does equal 41. So they could get the 41st win over the Knicks if they lose this one. And just looking ahead at the Raptors, let me put an S on that. If the Raptors win 2 out of their next 3 games, they will be 39-39 after Charlotte, where 39 is a strong number with Charlotte. We've had some nice upsets in the last month. We've had 3 nice upsets with Charlotte in the last month based on the number 39. And one of them was a game against New York, where New York's also 39. But good chance that the Raptors win 2 out of the next 3 games. The toughest game is the next one, which is against Philadelphia, who also has the 39 connection. So say the Raptors win today to get to 38 and 38. Maybe they lose to the 76ers, fall to 38-39, then beat Charlotte to get to 39 and 39. Again, we'll look more as the games go ahead. But again, if you just had to bet on the next 3 games with the Raptors, might be the pattern to follow. Or if you bet them to win all 3, you'd probably lose one of those bets, but win 2 out of 3. Or again, if you're torn, just again, be selective. You like the Raptors tonight, they become 38 and 38. Maybe you're torn on the Philly game because the 39 could fall either way at the 76ers. Wait to see the outcome of that game because say they beat the 76ers, maybe they're the next to get upset by Charlotte and fall to 39 and 39 in that game. Anyway, Magic and Grizzlies. We know 33, very powerful number in the Magic games. Grizzlies can get the 33rd home win over the Magic. And Grizzlies can get the 20th out-of-conference win on the 20-date numerology. They can get the Magic can get the 25th road loss. Memphis Grizzlies 97, the 25th prime. The Magic can stay on 32 wins. Grizzlies 131, the 32nd prime. Grizzlies can get 7th straight win on the 28th. 28th, the 7th triangular. So all stuff that looks pretty good for the Grizzlies. Thing is, to get value out of them, well, you can put them in a parlay and they have some value. But to really get the value, they got to cover the spread. And at the beginning of the season, this kind of stuff was more helpful, but these days it seems misleading. Again, if you just want to look more into this stuff, StatMuse is your friend. Just write Grizzlies home ATS. ATS is against the spread. 22-14-1 this season. And doesn't exactly fit in with today. It's going to be their 38th home game, though. Memphis. The flip side, where the value would be in the upset, the Magic could get their 33rd win of the year. Tennessee is 137, the 33rd prime. Yesterday, you had the big 33 shooting ritual in Tennessee. The school with 33 teachers at the address, 33, where 3 adults and 3 children. The Magic coach can get his 25th win versus the West. Memphis Grizzlies 97, the 25th prime. Magic could hold off the 44th loss until the next game. Wizards 44. You could think about a dollar parlay with this game. Again, it's hard to go against the Magic anytime 33 is on the board. Or, I didn't phrase it right. It's hard to go against the 33 narrative in a Magic game, no matter what else is out there. And again, there still is more weight on Memphis' side. So, if you want to take a dollar on a Magic upset parlay chance, probably wouldn't risk much more than that. Hornets and Thunder. Now, the Hornets have done it for us 3 times in the last month with pretty big upsets. They could do it again. Notice the Thunder can get the 39th loss, and that's the number that's been killing with us for Charlotte. The one thing that's different today is the date numerology is 38. So if the Thunder win, notice there's 3 teams that can get to 38 and 38 today. If the Thunder win, they're 38 and 38. And Thunder could also get the 23rd home win. Whoops, I wrote 23 date numerology. That's not what I meant to write. I meant to write Tuesday equals 23. Okay, so they can get the 23rd home win and become 38 and 38. The Hornets would pick up the 52nd loss. And both Oklahoma City and OKC are 52. And Thunder would get the 2nd straight win on the 2-date numerology. The Hornets coach can fall to 3 and 6 at the Thunder. Both teams equal 36 forwards and backwards. Thunder and Hornets 36-36. So, again, there's quite a few things that go in the Thunder's favor. There is tremendous value with Charlotte. I would say Charlotte's worth $1 just because the 39's there. And it's already won big 3 times in the past month with that number. So, if it wasn't for that 38 date numerology, I would have a lot better chance. So the 39 could go against the Thunder. Hornets can get the 26th win. Oklahoma City Thunder is 101, the 26th prime, but not the most pure. Hornets coach could pick up his 97th regular season win on the 97th Meridian West. That's where Oklahoma City is. He could also get his 99th total win and Thunder's 99. That includes the playoffs. So there are a few things here for Charlotte. And if the Thunder did lose, they'd go into Detroit still on those 37 wins, where Detroit Best numbers in Detroit are Detroit 37, Pistons 31. Okay, and then the Pelicans and Warriors game. Actually, there's 4 teams that can become 38 and 38 today. The Pelicans can fall to 38 and 38 on the 38 date. The Warriors could also pick up their 38th loss. Actually, I just thought of a number that I did. So I see the Warriors have it. Let me see if anybody else had it today. I didn't write it down, but it just jumped into my mind like, oh, yeah. This one, in this case, it would go against the Heat. Heat can stay on 40 wins. Tuesday equals 40 in reverse. Let's see. Did anybody else have a 40? Okay, so the only 40s are that and the Warriors. Warriors can pick up 40th win. Okay, so again, Pelicans can fall to 38 and 38. They'd go into Colorado, the 38th state, with a record of 38 and 38. If the Pelicans won this game, you know they'd be dead meat in their next game in Colorado. They'd definitely get that 38th loss in Colorado. If you're new here, if you can pick up the 38th win or loss in Colorado, Colorado's the 38th state and it equals 38 in the most pure. It's one of the most consistent things in all of sports. So, in a way, it would almost be nice to see the Pelicans win because you could have some serious confidence about them getting that 38th loss in Denver. But they'd also probably be a pretty good dog. It's almost interesting. They must have some players tonight that to be that big of an underdog against a relatively similar record Warriors. Anyway, the Pelicans coach can also stay on 74 wins, 74 date numerology. He can stay on 76 total wins, which includes his playoffs. San Francisco 76. Warriors could get the 26th conference win. New Orleans Pelicans 101 the 26th prime. They can get the 40th win on a Tuesday. Warriors coach Steve Kerr can get the 11th win over the Pelicans on 11-date numerology. And Warriors will have 41 wins if they win this game and the next game, which is against San Antonio, the 41 city. So it does not look too bad for the Warriors. They got quite a bit over here. It's just they're a big favorite. They'd also need to cover the spread to have value. Pelicans, again, what could go in their favor is giving the Warriors their 38th loss on the 38 date. Warriors could get their 22nd conference loss. Pelicans have 2 connections to 79, which is the 22nd prime. Warriors could pick up their second straight loss on the 2-date numerology. Warriors could pick up their 11th home loss in the series with the Pelicans on the 11-date numerology. And the Pelicans could stay on 20 conference losses on the 20-date numerology. If the Pelicans did win again, they'd hold off that 38th loss until Colorado. To me, they're also worth a $1 parlay. So again, there's some stronger games here today that are maybe worth more of a straight bet. And then if you're trying to build some value parlays, you can use those stronger narratives and add on a couple games. And remember, the date numerology, all this stuff's universal. It plays in the other games, the other leagues, the NHL. So that's what I see in the NBA today. And with regards to March Madness, it's gotten so... I apologize, you guys. I almost put out a tweet at halftime of the Miami-Texas game because I got real worried about Texas at halftime when I saw that they were on 45 points, the big Miami number. Again, so often when teams are on a score that points to another team's gematria, that team wins the game, whether they're up or down at the half. But when they were on 45, I looked more carefully at the bracket, and again, I was like, oh my God, if Miami wins, that'll add up the bracket to 23. The 4 teams will equal 23. I heard on the news the only time that the seeding of the Final Four, the only time the seeding added up to a higher number was 2011. That was the year UConn won, and that was the year Thabit played for the Houston Rockets, and they keep showing the Thabit jersey. So, again, I posted these notes. The seeding is 23. 23 is the 9th prime. That's what they ended up doing with the Jesuit schools. Instead of having Creighton make it 10-3 in their 103rd season, they became 9-4. Remember, Roman Catholic Church is 94. But 23, the 9th prime number. Right now, seeds that are 9 and higher in the Final Four are 0-8 all time. Seeds 9 and higher, 0 and 8. If Florida Atlantic loses, that would make 9 and higher 0 and 9 in the year 23, where 23 is the ninth prime. San Diego State is on an 8-game winning streak, if I'm not mistaken, so they could win their ninth straight. What I will say about this game is if Florida Atlantic wins, if they beat San Diego State, that would increase the chance of Miami upsetting UConn, just because Miami, if they had an all-Florida championship, Miami could get their 23rd win over Florida Atlantic. And these teams have played each other 23 times coming in. Miami's 22-1 versus Florida Atlantic. Could get the 23rd win all time. Here, I'll just go down here to the bottom of this. So, again, UConn's never played Florida Atlantic, but Miami's played them a ton. UConn is 1-0 versus San Diego State. They played them the year they won the championship, 2011. Again, the year that Tabit, who went to UConn, played for the Houston Rockets, whose jersey they keep showing. And the first meeting of Miami and Florida Atlantic was also in 93, kind of like how the championship's on the 93rd day of the year. And again, they're the only two teams that could win the championship and get to 31 wins, the big number in Houston. Houston 31. The other two schools cannot do it. So San Diego State comes into the Final Four on 31. Houston's 31 in the most pure, 32 when you run it interverse. Let's see. Again, just we know the state date of establishments connect in a big way to the championship. The championship is 84 days after the state of Connecticut's birthday, which is January 9th. 84 days. Remember, if the coach wins, he's 8-4 in the tournament. California, since you got San Diego State, it's 206 days after that state's birthday. March Madness 206. Again, the 1984 championship was in the 206 area code. And then Florida, it's 31 days after Florida's birthday. So that is interesting. Again, these are for the championship, not the Final Four. But yeah, I've been talking about it since the opening round. It was actually the opening round. I've been saying the whole time round one, and then for some reason where I wrote it in my notes, I wrote down against. I wrote it down wrong in my notes, but it was round one. It was their first game that UConn took down the Nets before scoring the 84th point of the game, and it was for some reason they needed to replace the net, but it was unclear what was wrong with the net, and I don't think there was anything wrong with the net. I think if UConn wins it all, I think that was the obvious ritual they did in the first game, like a simulation of winning the championship in the 84th tournament. Again, go back and watch the first game. When they're at 83 points, that's when they take the Nets down. They shoot a free throw. They score the 84th point with the new net on the hoop. So, and UConn did knock out the Jesuit school that scored 84, Gonzaga, on the 84th day of the year. And yeah, so we've covered a lot of that. But I will do some more thinking about this before game time. By the way, we'll stream Friday evening before Saturday. We'll skip the Thursday live stream because there's not that many games Thursday. We'll stream Friday evening instead. Do one last Final Four live stream. Try to get all the information out there before the game. Try to close out the tournament strong. Started pretty good, and then it just got roughest tournament ever. And part of me starting to think, you guys, that with all the new gamblers and all the new gambling and way more gambling money, that they are flipping some scripts and just doing things different. It's amazing how many games were like, well, you got the same narrative if either this team or this team can do the 41 to go to 4-1. And it really just does feel like that they've been going where the money isn't. So that's also something to keep in mind. And one of the bets right now is UConn versus the field. So I'd pay attention to how that public money is. Could be part of the reason to throw Miami in there instead of UConn. But yeah, also Jay Bilas, again, his championship, the first ESPN bracket special they did was his bracket. He had Arizona beating UConn. If UConn makes it there, it won't look too bad. Okay, With that said, I will open up the phone lines now. Let me get the line open. Okay, the line is open. And while we wait on the first call, let me see what's going on in the chat. Somebody said that I-84 runs through Connecticut. It could be another 84 connection. Two 5-3.
Hey, what's up, Zach? Hey, I'm gonna be down there in Olympia on Saturday. What time do you think that you're gonna be doing that?
Well, I'm gonna get out there early. Yeah, we better bring our rain jacket. It's supposed to be thunderstorms on Saturday, but
Because I can help with the camera. I'm always helping out whatever I can, and so I'll be down there on Saturday.
okay. Yeah, it's gonna be Saturday. And again, it says it's supposed to be thunder showers all day, so we'll see.
Oh, that's all right. I got some rain gear. I'll tough it out.
Yeah.
One thing I wanted to bring up with the NBA that I saw somebody tweet, and I actually did some research on it, but it's called the 2040 Club. Have you heard it?
2040 Club. I don't think so.
It's a team that gets their 40th win before their 20th loss.
Okay.
And Phil Jackson was famous for talking about that. He says that you're not a contender unless you get your 40th win before your 20th loss. And there's 3 teams right now that currently can achieve that. And if you go back 10 years in the NBA Finals, 9 out of the 10 winners hit that 40-20, was in that 40-20 rule. And the three teams are the Milwaukee Bucks, the Denver Nuggets, and the Boston Celtics.
Okay.
They all reached their 40th win before their 20th loss.
Okay.
And I wasn't sure if you heard anything about that, and I kind of researched it and fact checked it. And then the other thing I wanted to talk about, when I said that Gonzaga was going to lose that day, they ended up losing, and then I said, hey, let's start thinking about fading these Jesuit colleges because it seems like they sacrifice them and they all go down. And then look at this year in the 84th championship. You would think that there would be at least a Jesuit college that would make the finals, and it's not the case. And I think we just need to start, as a community, start fading these Jesuit colleges with all these good narratives and all these members that line up, because it doesn't seem like they win as often as they should.
Well, I mean, in hindsight, it sounds good. They won the 84th NIT last year, so.
But I'd like to go back to every championship and then see, like, how many Jesuit colleges won championships, and then look how many times they lost or it didn't even go.
But again, the whole point was it was 1984 they won, and then the 84th NIT they won, and it's a big number with them. So those are pretty much the only 2 basketball tournaments you could compare.
Yeah, that's true.
So that's why I couldn't fade it. I mean, it is the way it worked out, but just logically, it seemed like there was a really good chance for one to be there. So the
Yeah,
Yukon
that's kind of
coach,
crazy.
his father coached for many years at a Jesuit high school, and if Yukon wins it, that might be what's going on. So might be about his dad.
I know. I think you're onto something with that. That'd be really blatant if they did Florida Atlantic. I mean, yeah. I mean, yeah. Florida Atlantic and then Miami, Florida. That'd be crazy.
Yeah, if
Is
that
it
was the
the girls in the
championship,
Final Four too? The Miami, Florida girls.
I'm not sure what's going on in the women's. So, uh, let me see.
Could have sworn I saw the four teams.
Final four: LSU, Virginia Tech, Iowa, South Carolina.
Oh, so they got knocked out in the Elite Eight.
And by the way, just with regards to news and sports, yesterday you had the mass shooting blamed on the transgender person on the 86th Meridian West, where they coded about 1,086s into it. And then the South Carolina Lady Cocks, they won with 86 points. So.
Yeah, I'm taking the Gamecocks.
Yeah.
The Lady Cocks. I'm taking them. All right, Jack. Well, that's all I really had to say, and then I'll look forward to meeting up with you on Saturday.
Okay, yeah. Looks like you're going to want to bring your rain gear, but I'll be there.
Yeah, I'll bring it.
All right, man.
All
See you
right,
soon.
Thanks a lot. Thanks for doing the live stream.
Yeah, welcome. Later.
All right.
Yeah, he did call in and say that. It's just before it happened, I couldn't go against the Jesuit schools in light of the 84 precedent. And again, another part of me is like, are we even on the original script for this tournament? Is this like script C, still everybody's money with the crazy rigged, nearly every game's an upset outcome? So we'll never know. Yeah, the Yukon coach does have the nice alignment with the championship too. It is 77 days after his birthday in Houston. So yeah, you guys do have these notes. I posted them the other day. And I'll do a little bit more thinking. People have been feeding me all kinds of information, but a lot of the information that people fed to me, I've checked out, and it has not been correct. Like somebody said that the Yukon, somebody left a comment, the Yukon coach's father coaches a Jesuit high school that won the USA Today championship in 1984. So I look it up, and the Jesuit high school part's right, but he won it in 1988, not 84. So yeah, be careful what information people pass along to you. A lot of people are giving information to me all the time that is just not correct. But yeah, this tournament, man, this has been the craziest tournament there ever was. Where are we going Saturday? I don't know if you're going there. Are you up here in the Pacific Northwest? I'm going to the Washington State Capitol. So, they're banning assault weapons up here, so we're gonna go make some noise about it. Here, let me check something else about UConn's schedule real quick. Somebody said UConn got their first loss of the season on December 31st. Okay, they got it to Xavier, the Jesuit school, won the 84th NIT. Here, I want to make sure that's true, that was their first loss. They beat Georgetown with 84 during Saturnalia, who won it in 84. And then they lost to the team that won the 84th NIT. So they beat a Jesuit school with 84 and then lost to Xavier with 83. And remember, Xavier does equal 83. Okay, so their first loss was December 31st. Hold on. The reason I want to check this. Okay, I'm also not seeing that. Some people just leave these long comments. They said that the middle name of the UConn coach is Benedict, and he got his first loss on the day that Pope Benedict died. Remember that Pope Benedict gave us a nice upset with the New Orleans Saints in the Benedict ritual. But okay, that's actually not true. It is interesting, though, how they did beat Georgetown with 84, who won it in 84. Hurley went to St. Peter's as well. He went to he's Jesuit University educated too, huh? Hold on. He coached at St. Benedict's Prep. Maybe that's what they meant to say instead of his middle name's Benedict. Coached at St. Benedict's Prep. But I don't see anything about his actual education at St. Peter's. It says he went to Seton Hall. Oh, Bob Hurley went to St. Peter's. Okay, I see. Well, I see for the person saying about baseball. I've talked a little bit about baseball this year, so I do know baseball starting. Hasn't started yet, and we already talked about MLB futures. So when you're saying come on, I guess I'm just saying come on right back to you, man. Go back and keep up with the content we already put out. Right now in the AL, like I've been saying, I think there's a good chance that Houston goes to 5 of the last 7 World Series. 901.
Hey, what's going on, Zach?
Yeah, what's up?
Hey, I was trying to call in and talk about this March Madness.
Okay.
Hey, I was looking at last night. I was looking over over all the teams, and what stuck out to me was this Miami thing. If you can, pull up the Hurricanes schedule. Go to 12:30, which we know that's LeBron's birthday.
Go to the Hurricane schedule in the December 30th game.
Yep, December 30th game. I think we're leaning towards Miami on this thing right here, and once you pull it up, I'll break it down. I can't see it. I'm in the car right now, but you got it.
Okay, they played Notre Dame.
Yep. So in high school, that was LeBron's mascot, the Irish.
Right.
St. Vincent, St. Mary's. So I got to looking at and then you see how Miami became 13-1, championship 131.
Okay.
Yep. And I was looking at the 2002, 2001, 2002 football team. You know, they won the national championship over Nebraska, 37 to, I think it was 14 or either 21. So we know Larinaga is 37 and 73, so that goes with the Mar Hamlin thing. You know, the score was 3-7, or some people might say 7-3. So, and Laurinaga's first name is James Laurinaiga.
Okay.
So I'm thinking it's synced up with LeBron this year. So if if UConn loses, that'll be what, 33 losses for the team or for the coach?
Hold on, let me put it up here. UConn's next tournament loss is 33.
Yep, LeBron 33, and I think 56 too, right?
What would be the 56?
The
the coach would get his 56th loss with UConn.
Yeah, man, that's screaming. That is screaming at me. 56 loss and 33, and LeBron can go 5-6. And right now, Miami Heat, of course, you know, they'll probably lose tonight, and then they'll get that 41 against the Knicks. Either they'll get that 41 against the Knicks, or either they get that 41 on 4-1. I think they're playing Dallas 41. So they'll probably pick up that, and Miami is at home that game too. So I think on 4-1 or either 4-2, Miami Heat will get their 4-1, and then just think the University of Miami will get that the win on 4-1 against UConn.
Okay.
I think that'll be a and then the point spread. Okay, this is the point spread thing. They're doing a 5.5 is point spread. So you got the 5 seed Hurricanes and you got the 5 seed FAU. So you got 5 and 5. So this is LeBron's 5th year, and he can win his 5th championship. So that's where the 55 is playing. And everything in that national championship game was saying 55 and 34. That's all I was seeing in that 2002 game. 55, 5. So I'm thinking that'll be a championship, and then Florida Atlantic, I think they'll get San Diego. Only thing about San Diego that was playing was I seen the Kawhi Leonard. You remember when LeBron played with Ray Allen, you know, number 34, which championship is on 3-4, 4-3. He played with Ray Allen. Kawhi Leonard was playing with the Spurs. You know, Kawhi went to San Diego State.
Okay.
Yep. So that's the only thing I kind of hesitated on the Aztecs winning it, but we got so much money. And then, okay, I'm here in Memphis. This morning we just had the some type of shooting with a guy with a maroon station wagon. And I was just talking to my girl about that color, because if you mix the red and black Aztecs with the green and orange Miami, I think that'll give you the maroon, right? Or
I'm not exactly sure if that would turn out maroon, but maroon's like their color is kind of like San Diego State.
Yeah, and what group is named maroon?
What you mean? What game?
No, what group? The singing group.
What group is wearing maroon? I'm not sure.
No. Name. The name maroon.
Oh, you mean like that band Maroon 5?
There you you go. That's another 5. And the crazy part about it was it popped up this morning on my Twitter, a guy in a maroon station wagon just shooting in the air in Memphis. I'm like, I just asked you about Maroon 5. I was talking to my girls. I said, I just asked you about Maroon. So the Irish flag is the Miami's color. That's the orange and that's the green. That's the Irish flag. So that's where the Irish thing is playing there with the Notre Dame thing. So I think this year it'll be Miami. Everybody's betting on UConn, which we all know that. That's all we've been talking about is UConn. I don't think they're going to pull it out. Like I said, that 33 and that 56 is just screaming. I think he'll pick that up.
Have you gone back and watched it with your own eyes in the first game where they take down the Nets before the 84th point?
No, I didn't check that out. I'm going to pull that up.
I've been telling you guys about that since game 1 because, I mean, there's a reason they did that.
Yep. I think this one here is synced up around the ball. And then just think about it. Who has the transgender son that plays for the Heat?
Dwayne Wade. Okay,
yep.
For the Miami thing.
Wears number 3. Number 3 is 56.
Okay.
So, I can't see. I'm like, why are they doing this? And then I was watching the Hurricanes game, and the Hurricanes versus Kansas State game, and the weather report, the news guys interrupted the game. So I talked about the storm that just came through. So I was like, they're talking about a storm during the Hurricanes game, and I know majority of the games are synced up around storms. They're not synced up around the shooting deaths.
Well, that's another thing about Miami because we know how they sync up the sports with the news. Houston does have hurricanes down there. It could be synced up with a hurricane later to come this season. So, yeah, that is something about Miami that I've been thinking about too.
Yep. So, I think, and one last thing, and I'll let you go. Area codes. I looked at the colors. I looked at the area code. I looked at everything about these games, these 2 games. So I think if San Diego picks up that 317, that'd be 31 and 7, right? Let me
University of Miami is 93, like how the championship's on the 93rd day of the year.
Yeah. Only thing that kind of scared me was if FAU plays Miami, they could get that 2-2-2, right? 22-2.
Say it again.
I think FAU would that'll be their second win, right? I think Miami will be 22 wins, and then FAU have 2.
If they're playing each other, they're getting that 23rd win after all this 23 stuff.
Yeah, that's true. 23 to 9th prime. Yeah. I think they'll go that way. But the 317, I think San Diego will become 31 and 7, right? San Diego Aztecs would be 31 and 7, right?
If they lost, they'd be 31 and 7.
What area code is that?
Is that Houston as well? They're 713.
No, I think
Houston's 713. It'd be their area code in reverse.
No, I think that's Indiana. I think 317 is Indiana.
Yeah, 713 is Houston.
317 Indiana. So you got the black coaches. In the last Super Bowl. The 2 black coaches in the last Super Bowl. That was Indiana and Chicago. You remember Prince? Prince did halftime with the Purple Rain.
Right. Yeah, Super Bowl 41.
Yeah. So I think that's gonna play. Then just think about it. You got Dusty May, Dusty Baker in Houston. I don't think Dusty May will pull this out. Then check this out, Zach. Dusty May's birthday is LeBron James' birthday.
Okay.
So I'm like, oh my God, like, man, this one here. This has been a tough one. This has been a tough one. I don't know. You got Dusty May and Dusty Baker playing in Houston. I'm like, man, is Florida Atlantic going to pull it out? Then, like I said, he has LeBron James' birthday, 12:30. But I think Miami will probably, I don't know. I don't know what they.
Again, it's just like, are you really going to go against the 31? Like I keep saying, whoever wins that Connecticut-Miami game is winning the championship, as far as I'm concerned. There's neither of the other teams have even a shot, in my opinion.
That's true. That's true. And then what would Miami be? 31 and what? 31 and 7?
Miami would be, yeah, they would be 31-7. And the other thing about those two schools, they don't just have the 31 thing. University of Connecticut's 112 like Houston, and University of Miami's 93 like the 93rd day of the year.
Yeah. And by the Hurricanes playing on LeBron James' birthday against the Irish, oh my God, I think, and becoming 13-1, 131 like championship, I think man, that's big. That's pretty big. So that's where I'm going with it, man. What do you think about that? I guess they got a shot, huh?
I think Miami definitely has a shot because, yeah, and I really do think that I have a feeling this is not the main script they ran with. I think that they really are switching stuff up based on where the money is. So.
I don't know. I think they just do a good job with selling one team. Like they sold us this Kansas State thing with Mahomes and all that. I think they do a very good job at that. But I think they're keeping the same script all along. Because I went back and watched Miami versus Duke. Because I was big on Duke winning it this year. And I'm listening to Jay Billis, and he said, well, we got to disguise some things and, kind of like football. They were talking about football. And right as he said that, Alabama popped up, on the ticker at the bottom of the screen. So it might be throwing a hint out and saying that, Alabama might take it next year if Miami wins it this year. So I guess there's something to look out for.
Sure. Yeah. All right, man. Well, I appreciate the thoughts. Thank you.
All right, man. Have a good one.
Yeah, take care. I don't know. I mean, just things are definitely goofy this year. I mean, look at San Diego State University, 103. Creighton in their 103rd season could have made Jesuit schools 10-3. I think they're like, you know what? Let's just make the Final Four add up to 23. That's the new script. 252.
What's up, Zach?
Yeah, what's going on?
Got a little bit of college today. I don't think they switched nothing up, man. I think it's been UConn all along with Yale, man.
Well, the UConn would not surprise me. UConn's really the only team in this Final Four that really makes any sense based on history and what they've done in this tournament. But yeah, I mean, I've been calling out the UConn net thing the whole time, and that's why the guy who's been in this committee for 6 years, he's happy with the tournament. He just right away as he heard that, he put a big sum on UConn, and he's in position he's in the driver's seat. He's either winning 4,000 or whatever he has to hedge with on UConn. So anyway,
yeah, bro. I mean, what's the biggest state that Yale connects to in the U.S.?
Well, yeah, Connecticut, right?
Florida. It's Connecticut and Florida, right? The 43. With Bush, the 43rd governor, and his brother. Bush is 76 years old right now with a 7-6 birthday. Skull and Bones 76. If UConn wins it, guess who's going to get their 149th loss? The Miami coach. Skull and Bones 149. The Final Four is on 4-1. Skull and Bones 41. Championship is on 4-3. Florida 43. Bush the 43rd president. And then we got all this stuff going on with New York and Florida with the Magic and the Knicks game. And the Knicks turned around and played the Magic all in this March Madness thing. And Bush did 9/11, the whole cliche thing. And then you got Florida and New York with this connection.
Sure.
So, I mean, on 4-3, I'm looking at Florida 43, Yale 43. And I know you said they turn 322 next year, but
do you know what state Yale? You know what state Yale's in, right?
Yeah, Connecticut. It was founded in New Haven, Connecticut, 1701.
Okay. All right. Because I mean, obviously, it's more connected to Connecticut than Florida.
Yeah, definitely. But I mean, if they're going to play a Florida team, Florida Atlantic, that'd be, I mean, the 43 connection on 4-3.
Oh, I see. I see what you're saying.
Yeah. Exactly. So, I mean, why else would they really line it up like that? And if I'm not mistaken, the championship, you can also say that's on 3-4. The only team playing on 4-1 on the Final Four is the Heat with the 34 connection, kind of like 3-4. That's just saying, it's only because it's only two teams, and it's the Florida team playing on that day. So yeah, Skull and Bones 41. You get the 41st, you get the 149th loss. Skull and Bones 149, and also, remember when
Who's getting the 149th loss? Hold on, let me go back here and see who's on next on one.
Miami coach.
Miami coach's next loss is 149.
Yeah, Skull and Bones.
Yeah, with the team 149. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Skull and Bones. Yeah. So I'm like, UConn versus Florida Atlantic. I'm taking it as a lock. I don't care. I'm taking it as a lock with the championship being on 4-3. It really doesn't get more obvious than that. And like I said, they're in the 322nd year of existence. And then
the scary thing about Florida Atlantic, though, is the game's on 4-1, and the coach can fall to 4-1 in the tournament, and the team can get their 41st neutral court site loss.
Yeah, he could, and then he'd face who?
Well, you know what? He can get his 102nd win as well, though, and that's Final Four. I got to get that up there. So.
Yeah, exactly. And like I said, with Bush being 76, with the 76 birthday, Skull and Bones 76. I expect UConn to go pretty far, and well, like I said, that's what I was saying from the beginning when I seen the thing. And New Haven, Connecticut is 84.
Yeah, no, trust me, I remember that because when I was driving back from there, it was like Noah's Ark flood raining, and it put us on this detour on the navigation because the freeway was flooded. So I'm going down this side street on 84th, and it's raining so hard, it blew out the storm drain, and I blew out my tire driving over an open storm drain on 84th Street coming back from New Haven, Connecticut. And like the town was established in 1684 too. I should have thought about all that shit more, God, it's UConn and it's not Yale, but they are in the same state. But yeah, there is a big 84 connection with old Yale, so.
Exactly, and when you write out New Haven CT, it's 43 in the most pure, another 43. I mean, you could say obviously that's a line because Yale is 43, so obviously you could say that's why that aligns. But yeah, I mean, with all the 43s, championship being on 4-3, I really expect it to be Yale and Florida, or UConn and Florida Atlantic.
Okay, they've been putting this stat out there that teams that are 9 seeds and higher are 0-8 in tournament history. And then again, just all the 23 stuff, 23 the 9th prime. If they did lose, it would make those seeds 0-9. So that's something else to think about.
Yeah, and what my point was when Magic had beat the Knicks in that whole Florida and New York connection, that the Knicks fell to 120. The Knicks coach fell to 120 and 109.
Okay.
10-9 establishment date. UConn's 120th season.
Okay.
So, like I said, Florida giving them the 109th loss. I mean, and Magic is on a win streak right now. They're like one of the worst teams in the league, and they're on a win streak. Like I said, I just expect it to be something like that. With the NBA today. One thing I forgot to mention is, you remember how I told you if the Grizzlies finished 52-30, it'd be a huge Vancouver Grizzlies tribute with the 99th prime against the OKC 52?
Okay.
I didn't even mention that. That's on the 99th day of the year. Vancouver Grizzlies, 99 forwards and backwards. April 9th, 4-9. Grizzlies, 49.
Okay. It's very possible.
Yeah, so, like I said, that's what I'm expecting right there. And what might be a bit interesting is the Grizzlies. You know who Greg Anthony is?
Yeah, he used to play for the Blazers.
Yeah, he was the starting point guard on that '95 Vancouver Grizzlies team, and his son plays for the Magic.
Okay.
And today, his son Cole Anthony plays for the Magic, and today is 48 days after his birthday, and his name equals 48. And now the Grizzlies are playing the Magic. Grizzlies 28th season, they could get their 28th loss on the 28th to the Magic. And they could fall to 18-9 at home in the series. Memphis, Tennessee is 189 in the most simple.
I see. Okay.
So that's what I'm looking at today. With the Hawk Cavs game, I think that 69, there's like there's like a bunch of Atlanta numbers that can play. Cavs coach can get his 120th win. Atlanta 120. Hawks coach can fall to 4-5 in Atlanta. Cavs 45. Hawks coach can fall to 6-9 with the team. Cleveland Cavaliers 69. Atlanta 69. Past Cavs coach can get the 48th road win. Atlanta 48.
They're definitely a lot more on the Cavs side. The only threat is just how hard does 38 play, because there's 4 teams today that can become 38 and 38. But you take away that, there is a lot more on the Cavs side.
And what's interesting is the 2 teams that can become 38 and 38 on the 38 date numerology is against both of LeBron's old teams.
Cavs and Heat. Yeah.
Raptors can become 38-38. Hawks can become 38-38.
And you know what? LeBron picked up his 15th win of the year in Atlanta, scoring 38 points. And then he scored 38 the next 3 games. After that, he had 4 straight games of 38 points. And again, he started that in Georgia, the 4th state. So.
Yeah, he definitely very well could.
That would be a reason to think that maybe the Hawks do it if it is some kind of tribute to LeBron, because, yeah, you're right, both of his teams.
Yeah, exactly. And then my biggest scare that I had on my nose is that this is the Hawks coach 15th game with them in Atlanta.
Okay.
So he could shock the Cavs in the 15th city. But, yeah, with the Raptors, I've seen that the Raptors play Philly next, and they're on the coach is on 135. Oh wait, never mind. That's home losses. They're in Philly. Well, you know what? Nick Nurse is on 223 wins, and he's in Philly next. He's on 223 right now.
Okay.
So he could go in there on 223 possibly. But like I said, that 38-38 thing, the 74 in date numerology. And it's 74 and 20. Heat 74 and 20. 74-20 date numerology. So they could do it. They very well could do it. And it's 161 days after the season began. Raptors coach can get that 161st loss. Could be paying tribute to that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And one thing I've seen, I don't know if you've seen it. I don't know if you really looked into it, but 55 has played a great deal with Memphis since Tyree Nichols. It's played amazing with them. Like, I've seen so many 55s popping up. I mean, even the 10s, like, and they're still doing it, because look at last night. 10 weeks before Tyree Nichols' birthday, who won with the 55 connection? The Timberwolves. They beat Sacramento. It was exactly 10 weeks before Nichols' birthday.
They had a good riddle to beat Sacramento last night. That's right. They said Tyree Nichols was from Sacramento. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. I thought they were going to win it with their. I know you said the 75 hasn't been playing. It was the 75th game and 75th season at the Golden One Center. 75. I was like, they could get that.
You didn't like that? You didn't like the Timberwolves last night?
Yeah, I love the Timberwolves last night.
Yeah, they had a good narrative.
Yeah, Kings coach fell to 15 and 5. 15's fifth triangular number. 5 Nichols in the 5 cops.
Okay.
On the 37 date numerology when Nichols is 37.
Okay.
So I mean, they've been doing rituals with him all year, and if they are going to do a 55 ritual with him tonight, it's 80 days after his birthday, and Nichols is 80 in the most simple, or after the day he got beat.
Okay.
So they do one. Magic coach can get that 55th win and stay on 55 road losses if that 55 is going to play tonight.
Okay. Good thoughts.
Yeah, that's my college thing with Yale. I'm expecting them to face Florida Atlantic in the Final Four and win it all with the 84. They'll definitely get the 84 if they do get there.
The 9 seed would finally make it to or win in the Final Four in the 9th attempt is how that would go. You know what else is interesting? A 5 seed has never won in the Final Four. A 5 seed has also never won.
Really?
Yeah, 1 seeds have won 26 times, 2 seeds 7, 3 seeds 5, 4 only once, 5 0, 6 seed twice, 7 and 8 both once, 9 through 16 0. So.
Who's the 5 seed?
2 5 seeds. Miami and San Diego State are both 5 seeds. UConn's a 4 seed. So.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like I said, this whole Connecticut thing. Like I said, I know you said they turn 322 next year, but like I said, they in the 322nd year right now.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I mean, that would definitely be a big tribute to them. While Bush is, who so-called did 9/11, while he's 76 years old with the 76th birthday.
Yeah, it's definitely possible. All right, man. I'll let some more people get in, but great thoughts. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, later. 612.
Hey, what's up, Jack?
Yeah, what's up?
Hey, I got a couple questions. So, in recent past, I betted on a couple NBA games, and I wasn't really using the Gematria for so I don't really know how the over and under works for Gematria, because I've won 3 games using the over under, but then I've also lost 4 games with the over under, and I was kind of gauging it on how the game was playing out. So I just wondered if you had any insight on how to use Gematria for the over under.
There's only certain days where I ever feel confident about over under. It might be because the team Gematria matches with the date and the over under's right there. In the Super Bowl, for example, I was really feeling the over just because I thought there was a good chance that it might be close to 76, just big slavery number. Philadelphia involved, and instead it was 73 points, but it was still the over. So yeah, there just has to be a lot of reasons to think it's going one way or the next. But I only so often will I take a stab at the over under.
Okay, yeah, because it's really hard to tell whether it's going to be over or under, and even if you see the Gematria, it's all right, it's going to be that number, is it going to go over that or under that, under that Gematria number? So I was wondering if you knew. But you were talking about the betting and kind of flipping the games. Okay, I swear to God, I think one time they actually did do that live, because I some weeks ago I bet on a game and I bet on the under, and it was an NBA game. And it was probably just a little seconds left. It was 2 seconds left in the game, and it was 1 point below the under. And I felt relieved, because I was all right, good. I got it under. And it was dude was at the sidelines. He had throwing the ball, and the team who had the ball, they were going to win anyway. But what happened was he threw the ball in, but the way he threw it in, he kind of chucked it the middle of the court, in near the paint, and then somehow got fouled in the weirdest way possible, and then got a shooting foul. So then he got to the line, shot his free throws, got 2 points, which
sure, went to the other side. Yeah, yeah. It's why are they even fouling exactly? I know, man.
Yeah, and then to add an extra fuck you, then the person on another team threw the ball to his teammate down the court, and then he just shot this very lazy 3-pointer, and then it just went in so easily for another 3 points. I'm like, what the fuck? And under a second, all that happened 5 points under a second.
Yeah, that's why Scott Van Pelt always does the bad beats at the end to show things that went crazy for gamblers at the end of the night. It's mockery. But yeah, all right, man. Yeah, be careful with the over under. So that's why you don't see me mess with that category too much. So.
Yeah, no, it really pissed me off. It was almost as if Vegas was just telling me straight up, "Fuck you" for doing that.
Well, they do that a lot to a lot of gamblers every single day with the way they rig the games. All right, man. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See you.
Yeah, just funny things. Just several of the games they've changed who the favorite was at the last second. Those are the kind of things that have me going, what's really going on with this tournament? The Kansas State, Michigan State, they flipped the favorite the last time. 630, you got to mute your video.
I did that. I'm sorry. Hi, Zach. I'm new to your channel and new to actually sports, but I've learned a lot from you already. I've won 2 games. I won, I guess, the Owls and the Hurricanes recently. Just want to tell you how I did that. So, because I think I'm onto something for the Owls San Diego matchup coming up, I want to get your thoughts. So, for the Owl game, I did, hey, maybe it's connected to the Super Bowl. So, because superb Owl.
Sure.
And then I'm like, okay, and they're playing Kansas City. So Kansas City Chiefs were in the Super Bowl. I'm like, okay, it's connected to the Super Bowl somehow. So then I looked up, I looked up articles on owls, recent articles on owls. And I found an article on an owl that was recently published. It said an owl escaped from the New York zoo, which they played the game at New York, and has been, surviving on its own, going to get and coughing up bones and fur. So I'm like, okay, they're playing the Wildcats, coughing up bones and fur. Like, there's a total connection and a story between this. And that's what I learned from you. If there's anything weird in articles, like, it's kind of like a sign. So I picked the owls because it's connected to the Super Bowl and the owl story. So I also picked the Hurricanes because they played at T-Mobile. And the T-Mobile, Ryan Reynolds, Mint Mobile merger, if you connected Ryan Reynolds equaled the Hurricanes number, and the colors of Mint Mobile were the same colors as the Hurricanes. So I picked them. So they got it. So fast forward to today, right? There's the San Diego Aztecs versus the Florida Owls. So right now, I think it's connected to the Super Bowl somehow and Prince Charles' coronation, because I'm looking at articles right now. It says Duke and Duchess a lot in the articles, and the Gematria matches up with San Diego State really well. Has 3 hard matches in those numbers. Also, there's a new article out. I did an update on owl article, and if you do an internet search on Flacco owl update, you'll find an article that says a bird escaped in California, and his name is Diego. I know this sounds crazy. I sound like a crazy person, but this is what this does to you, right?
Sure.
So they also mentioned that 2 birds are on the loose, Diego and Flacco, which both, the owl, they picked the owls. So I can't figure out the total riddle yet. I think I'm getting close, though, but I think it is connected to the Super Bowl, the owl, and Prince Charles' coronation. So a lot of 56s are surrounding that as well. So I don't know if you've seen a lot of 56s or anything like that. But that's what I'm going to throw out there. And if you can figure out the riddles with what I've given you, or if you think I'm a crazy person, I get that too.
I just thought about something. The college in Houston, Rice, is the Owls as well.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, well, you're talking about the Owls. I'm like, wait a minute, isn't that the name of Rice? Isn't Rice the Owls still? Yeah, they are. So Rice Owls. Okay.
Yeah, and the owls are the blue, white, and red, which correlate with the British flag, too. So I don't want to put too much weight on the owls just because there is that Diego story going. But I'm hoping in a couple of days maybe a story will come out and say, oh, the Diego bird came back. I don't know. I'm going to be keeping an eye on it. But those are just my 2 cents.
Well, you're doing a great job with your research. It might sound crazy, but it's working out, so keep it up.
It is totally working out. Thank you.
All right. Congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, take care.
Yep, bye.
That is something to think about, though, with Rice, because, Rice is in Houston. The Texas coach, his first game as coach was against the Rice Owls. But to me, it's either UConn or Miami wins it. The 31 thing, it's like, if you're in Big Al's position, Big Al, he mostly just sat back on the tournament, just put his future in for his favorite narrative. He really liked the Connecticut narrative with the Nets coming down. So, if I was Big Al, the only thing I'd be worried about right now is Miami. Is it Lane? All right, you might have been calling all show. I haven't been picking up because the trolls call from no caller ID all day too. So I thought you were one of the trolls.
I'm the realest, bro. The realest in the game.
Well, you should start calling from your actual number because the trolls call from no caller ID. So.
All right, but yeah, Zach, I'm just here to give a review of my NBA Finals prediction, which is that Tyronn Lue, the coach for the LA Clippers, will get 16 wins, which equates to 67 total playoff wins. And that would be Tyronn Lue winning the NBA championship with the LA Clippers. So if you know the star player for the LA Clippers graduated from San Diego State, you know that, right?
Yeah, they showed the Kawhi commercial while the game was close at the end, and then San Diego State secured the victory right after the Kawhi New Balance commercial. I was like, that was nice.
Don't you like that, man? It's a great riddle with them reaching their second Final Four tournament, and Kawhi Leonard wears the number 2. But I'm looking at San Diego State, but the UConn riddle is pretty good for them to win their last championship 9 years ago.
That's another thing, right? 23, the ninth prime.
23, the ninth prime number. You know, FAU was a great Cinderella story. San Diego State is kind of hinting at possibly Kawhi Leonard and the LA Clippers winning the NBA championship. I'm gonna give it to you. I'm gonna do UConn versus San Diego State, and UConn taking it. That'll be my prediction for the NCAA tournament. But I just think it would be kind of cute if you had all Native American style teams winning championships. Like if the Chiefs won the Super Bowl, if the Aztecs do come through and win, and then the Clippers were formerly known as the Buffalo Braves, so that would be a cool like Native American vibe for 3 major leagues. You know, basketball, football, and college basketball to all have, you know, an indigenous team name, basically. That's just a small riddle that I'm looking at right now, but I am locked in for the LA Clippers, guys. I really do like them. But I'm just excited to listen and learn with you guys. It was a great win for them last night. If I'm looking at any place today, I think one of the secure spots would be for the Toronto Raptors to win.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
I agree.
Generation Y, and that's my angle.
All right. Hey, you like the Clippers last night, huh?
Well, my official play was the Dallas Mavericks with the 37. I really like that one a lot. Plus, they don't beat a lot of teams. Like, they're bad against the spread teams. There's a lot of value as far as gambling-wise on the Dallas Mavericks.
Yeah, they had a good riddle yesterday, the Mavs. The Clippers were iffy, but they did win the game.
The Timberwolves were definitely a great look because that game was close all the way down to the end, you know?
Indeed.
And, I love your notes, Zach, because you're not giving us a winner. You're making us use our own mind. Like, if they come to where I'm at, you know, I give out one official play. But the fact that you make us take these numbers and use these storylines and we have to pick, you know, I appreciate everything you do for the community, man.
Sure. And the other thing is I mean, usually the way all the information there, it's pretty easy to make picks. It's just like, okay, this game's got value and there's a lot on this side. Okay, here's the numbers that have been playing all year. All right, he wrote right here. This number's been strong. I mean, so anyway.
Yeah. So yeah, man, I'm excited to see what's going on tonight, guys. You know, pay attention, Generation Y. We're gonna push out an official play today. Let's have fun, man.
All right. I agree with your pick of the day. Good job, Lane. Thanks, man. All right, see it. Yeah. He's still going with those Clippers. So hold on, somebody else has been trying to call in a bunch too, and their timing's been just off. Let me call them back.
I'm sorry, the person you were trying to...
Well, they didn't pick up. Maybe they had to go back to work. What's up, Topsy?
What's going on with that?
Hey.
Got an observation for the UAB game. UAB can keep. Who they playing?
A UAV game. I don't know. Where's that game at?
Yeah, the NIT today. They got the 2 semifinal games.
Okay.
North Texas versus Wisconsin, and UAB versus Utah Valley.
Okay.
Yeah. Utah Valley is on 329 all-time wins. University of Alabama at Birmingham. No, never mind. Yeah, that's right. They can keep them on 329 wins. University of Alabama at Birmingham sums to 329 ordinal. And Utah Valley can fall to 28-9 for the season. Utah Valley University equals 289 ordinal.
I see.
Yeah, and it's hard to believe that both favorites win, but maybe they do. But if North Texas wins, they play on the 144th day of the season. That's the 30th, and which is the 144th day of the season. North Texas equals 144 ordinal.
Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, that's what I pointed out. I think UAB should get it done, but kind of iffy on North Texas. I just like the 144th, and the last day for these two teams could be the 144th day of the season if they make it to the championship.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah. And I've seen in the Hawks game, the Hawks are on 3,180 all-time losses, and Cleveland Cavaliers equals 318. And then the Hawks could improve to 2,888 wins on the 28th. Hawks equals 28. And I think the game is 280 days before George's birthday.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's what I saw. I just wanted to share that.
Okay. Yeah, good observations. Thanks, Topsy.
All right.
All right. See you, man. He loves those big numbers. Okay. Chris. I was just trying to call you back because I knew it was you trying to get in. I just tried to call you back if you're still in the chat, but it went to like your voicemail right away when I called. So timing was just a little bit off. Again, if both favorites essentially won in the Final Four, which would be UConn over Miami and San Diego State over FAU. Remember, those teams did play only one time in history, 2011, which is the year we figured out a few rounds ago, and we looked at the To Beat commercial. We said, UConn won the championship that year. To Beat was playing for the Houston Rockets that year. And again, the championship is 46 days after To Beat's birthday. Houston, Texas, Connecticut, and March Madness all 46 in the most pure. So it would bring that year together again if those teams did face each other. You'd have a 5 versus a 4. It would add up to 9 in 23 the ninth prime. If FAU went down again, 9 and higher seeds would be 0 and 9. And UConn easily has the best 84 riddle for the 84th tournament. It's just, is this tournament actually, is the number that's more important 84 or 23? I mean, that's the question. The only way if FAU beats San Diego State, the odds of Miami upsetting UConn definitely increase. Because, again, Miami could beat FAU for the 23rd time, and then it would be the championship in Houston 31 days after the state of Florida's birthday. But, yeah, we'll do another live stream. Hold on. Let's look a look. I said we'd do one Friday. I'm not taking that one away. Wednesday's always so busy because I have the radio show. But yeah, Thursday is opening day of baseball. And I usually like baseball once it gets about a week into the season. You start getting a lot of nice, simple alignments. So I'm not always crazy about baseball on opening day. If you go through all the games, there will be some good riddles, but once it gets about a week into the season, there just starts to be a lot of nice, simple records. Teams becoming 3-7 versus strong 37 cities and this type of thing. What's up, Chris?
Hey, Zach, how are you?
Doing all right.
On the call today, brother. Hey, some good insight on your notes and everything with the Wizards tonight. I know there's a little bit of value there, and that's the same number as on Sunday when the Hornets played the Mavs, and you were giving us some good information on that. The Hornets can upset at 10 a.m. in the morning. So today, I do like the Wizards. Like you always say, there's no perfect pattern. It is a good number. It's not 100%, so don't go crazy on it. But I definitely like your value on that, and at least take the points. 11.5 is a good number too. And then two other games I was looking at too. I do like the dogs that you're playing tonight. I love the Hornets tonight. That money line at that plus 320. I know it's a little high value, but when you look at the opening lines, when you look at that opening number at that minus 405 with that plus 320, it's the same number as tonight with the New Orleans Pelicans and the Warriors. Same opening line, same exact number. I wonder if the spreads are the same. The spread actually is a point difference, but most of the time, I'm going to say 90% of the time, they like to follow each other. This number that I've been tracking, it's about a 40% hitter on the money line, so it's not perfect, but there is some value there today with the Hornets plus 320 and the Pelicans plus 320. And those numbers line up with your same numbers about 4 or 5 days ago that were with the Minnesota Timberwolves and the Bulls when they were both plus 320, 310, and they both won outright. $50 paid you $800. So a good little ticket if you want to find some value and not have to go crazy like Zach says. $1 parlay bet on those Wizards money line with the Pelicans money line and the Hornets money line. $1 bet could win you $800. Like you say, it's highly unlikely that all three of them are going to come in, but sometimes they do come in on that. And last but not least, I'm just going to tell you guys what I see here in the Vegas where the money's going at. It's a little early because the games don't pop off till 4, but the money coming in right now, we have the Wizards. So far, about $70,000 being bet on that. There's over 387 tickets being printed, but everybody is on the Celtics. Everybody's taking that minus 11. 80% of the cash of that 67,000 is on the Celtics. 70% of those 387 tickets has all been printed on the Celtics at minus 11. The two things that I am looking at with the money that could make a difference on that Hornets games and Warriors games tonight, guys, because there's a lot of money that come in at 7 o'clock at night. A lot of people like to chase. So like I said, don't go crazy on those tonight. They could win, but the money is opposite of the numbers. So there is a lot of money coming in on those Hornets tonight and the Pelicans. There's about $70,000 so far, and it'll be built up even more. But only 22% of that $70,000 tonight is on the Warriors minus 8. So if you guys do take the Pelicans tonight, tread lightly. I do like the number that it could definitely cover, just like your Jazz the other night. That was the same number when the Jazz played the Kings. You were saying there was a lot more side on the Kings side, and they definitely was. And they had the Jazz cover that 9, which was the date numerology. So you were right on it with your notes and everything. It was perfect. They won by 7. People who waited late at 7, 8 o'clock at night, they got that 9, 9.5. They all covered. So little insight. You want to make sure that you make those bets close to game time. You don't want to do it too early because they manipulate that number and they like to move them. You don't want to get on a bad number. For instance, that Jazz and Kings game, they had it all day. Kings minus 7. And if you would have took the Jazz at plus 7, you would have found yourself getting kind of peaked on it because they won by 8. You want to make sure you get that good number. But like I said, tonight I really like those Wizards money line, plus 460. It's the same number as the Hornets and Mavericks that day, plus 460. It's the same opening line spread at 11, 11.5. Don't go crazy, but there is some value there. Thank you very much, man. And I'm going to do those for $1, those 3, and see what happens. And thank you so much for your notes, and have an excellent day today, brother.
All right, good luck, Chris. Thanks, man.
Bye, then.
See. Okay. Yeah, again, never bet more than you can afford to lose, but you just stay small, consistent. Again, you will win more often than not. If only we stopped the NCAA tournament after the first 2 rounds. We did all right there, but good God, it's just been like, NBA's been good, but the college, man, it has given me a headache. I think I got at least 4 more gray hairs for this Final Four, so. At least that one lady figured it out with the owl story. So yeah, we'll leave it there for now. I will look at baseball opening day and get something out. But like I said, I'm not going to do a lot of baseball at first. Once the season gets going, I always like it more. The types of things you'd want to look for, though, is just like or excuse me, 89. The season opens this year on the 89th day of the year. Are there some big fat 89s? Can somebody get the 89th career win, 89th win versus this team, home win, road win? Could be a number to roll with on the first day of the year. And, of course, always do your date numerology. But in baseball, these teams have tons of history, so there's usually tons. The stats to find will probably most likely be in the pitcher records. And also, of course, the other thing, if you've never done baseball before, like, say Mikolas, who's pitching for the Cardinals, if he could pick up his 36th win or loss, 23rd win or loss, again, Toronto 36, Blue Jays 23. So the opening day record, the riddles you're going to be looking for, they're probably mostly going to be in pitcher records. And I will put something together for opening day. I actually also have I have to drive Thursday morning. I saw there was hardly any games because I had to do a meeting at some point this week before the end of the week. So I scheduled it for Thursday, and it's 50 miles away, and I got to be there at 9 a.m. So I won't be back in time for our normal live stream. So yeah, anyway, we're not going to stream Thursday, but you know what? I'll work on baseball opening day, and I'll figure out. We'll stream before opening day. It might be tomorrow, or actually, we're definitely going to stream Friday. We might stream before opening day. I will put out notes, though, for baseball at the very least. So just understand the Thursday stream, it's been moved to Friday, and if I have time to do another stream before then, we will. But I will get out some notes for opening day. But again, I'm not going to do a lot with baseball until we get a little bit further into the season. But just for the new people to get the feel of how to decode, I'll put out some notes since we only got 2 basketball games on Thursday. Here, you need the notes for today's games, Lane, for the Wizards. The Wizards upset narrative, okay? The Wizards upset narrative will begin the 20th conference win on the 20-date numerology. The Wizards could get their 74th home win in the series, 74-date numerology. Celtics, if they lost, they could hold off the 53rd win until their next game, which is against Milwaukee. Again, they could also win today and then lose to Milwaukee and stay on 53. And then it's 11.5-point favorite Celtics on an 11-date numerology, so that's another reason to think the Wizards could at least cover the spread. But yeah, here, you guys should have access to the notes. I posted that earlier on Patreon. I know Patreon was goofy today with the updates. The password is 11. I just posted the notes in the chat if you need them. Password 11. All right, but yeah, I'll start working on the baseball opening day and see if I can find some web gems, as I like to call them. And again, but I'm not going to do a lot with baseball until the season gets rolling. Try to finish out the basketball regular season. And yeah, we'll leave it there for now. So yeah, good point, Chris. Sometimes that Gematria opening day can also hit. Lane will be looking for his prop bets with the home runs. All right, you guys. Good luck. Play smart. And until next time.